Seriously.
Let's get to the news. We got a couple of hours minus about 5 minutes to get you up to speed on everything that's happening in the National Football League. And, of course, we're 9 days away from the draft, so plenty is happening. And in Cleveland, members of the 2018 first-round draft class are getting paid. Not Baker Mayfield. Not Baker Mayfield. No thanks on Baker Mayfield, the guy they took with the 4th overall pick that year, cornerback Denzel Ward. He agrees to a 5-year extension. 5 years, $100.5 million with $71.25 million guaranteed. We know the drill by now. We know that the initial numbers should be taken with many grains of salt. I was trying to get the real numbers last night. I was told they were still finalizing the contract, and the official numbers will be available today. When we get them, you'll get them, you'll see them, and we'll break it down. Whatever it is, good, bad, or otherwise, whatever the truth is. But we know by now that the stuff we get from the information robots who rush to Twitter at the speed of 280 characters to tell us what they're told by the agent who is trying to make it look as good as possible when in Rome, they understand it's an occupational hazard to pass this stuff along. That's what happens. So set it aside. We'll break it down. Either way, he got paid. Either way, it was enough for him. It was enough for the Browns, and now he's under contract well into the future, Chris.
Yeah, well, again, it shows a little like, how you started it off. I'll just piggyback off that. Baker Mayfield, same draft class. Here you go. I got a guy 3 picks later. They re-signed him, right? Because he's done everything right in their eyes, and he's played really well in the football field. I mean, Denzel Ward, I don't know if I would sit there and necessarily go, I think he's the best corner in football, but I understand having him in that conversation. He's top 10, that's for sure. And, of course, when you're a homegrown talent and done all the things the right way, went to Ohio State, you don't have a marquee corner on your roster right now. He's that guy. They don't come, easy in the NFL. I understand it. It's a smart investment. Get out in front of it right now. And it's a really good defense, too, there in Cleveland. We've talked about that. They got talent. So, yeah, it's a high number. He's the new highest paid corner, you're right, until we see the details. But also at the same time, I think it's one of those where it's probably smart for Cleveland, too. With that defense, with the chaos they can create, Denzel Ward has the year he has last year and gets 3 or 4 more picks to add it on top of it. He's going to want a number that maybe is even more astronomical than this. So I think it was good all around, certainly, and Denzel Ward certainly deserving to be in this conversation for highest paid corner.
5-year extension with 1 year left. That puts him under contract for 6 more years. And the way these deals typically work, the first 2 or 3, they will be honored by both sides. We get into the final 3 years, that's when the team has the option to keep going or to tear it up. And if the cap keeps going up and up and up the way that it did this year, that's going to be a pretty good deal from the Browns' perspective. That's when Denzel Ward may say, hey, how about we tear it up here and do something else. So that's just going to be part of the ever-churning reality of the NFL. We're always going to be looking 3 years out, 4 years out, 5 years out. Where will the cap be? How will these deals look? So we'll see. Once we get the full breakdown of the Denzel Ward deal, we'll have an idea of what it's really going to be worth, when the team may want to tear it up, when Denzel Ward may say, I'm not really making as much as I'd like to make, but these are all factors that apply to all these contracts. And the first guy to get the 9-figure cornerback deal, Jalen Ramsey, slight humble brag. I don't know if there's anything humble about Jalen Ramsey, and I got no problem with it. I've been waiting on somebody else to touch that 100 club, and you definitely deserve it at Denzel Ward. Congrats. Remember, it was J.C. Jackson who wanted Jalen Ramsey money, not Jalen Ramsey's actual money, but money like Jalen Ramsey was getting, and he didn't get there. Denzel Ward did again.
Yeah.
We'll bring it down, and we'll see. There's a chance Jackson's deal's better. We'll see where he fits in this once we have the final numbers.
It is interesting. It is. I mean, again, I don't want to understate this. I mean, this is a really awesome football player who deserves to be in this conversation. But corner seems to be kind of one of those positions, Mike, that we've talked about a lot, where it's just like the next good one seems to one-up the next guy. It does seem like it has that going on a little bit right now, to where I wonder how long it goes on. Listen, as good as I look at a Denzel Ward, and as talented as he is, yes, he's an awesome player. Do I think he's as good as Xavier Howard, who just got his new contract and didn't get this much money, at least by appearance? Absolutely not. I don't. And I also don't think he's as good as J.C. Jackson either. Again, the other thing, like we've talked about, and again, I don't want to disrespect, but Cleveland's defense is good. It's a really good pass rush. It's one of the best in football there, too. It's the Seattle scheme. They don't play man-to-man a ton. He plays man-to-man less than I would think, really, and I'll look up the numbers here in a second. I would bet you less than some of the other top corners in the sport. So that's where it's interesting to me as a football guy. Really good player. They don't put as much on his plate as some of these other corners. And, I'm not sure. I guess I believe that he's in that Marlon Humphrey, Jalen Ramsey class quite yet.
Let me throw something out there that I just thought of that may be completely baseless, which would mesh with about 95% of the things that I think of. Is it possible the Browns decided, you know what, we had 2 top 4 picks in 2018. We've already gotten rid or are in the process of getting rid of one of them. We can't go 0 for 2. We got to pay this guy and keep him around, even if he's not one of the top corners in the league. He's good enough. He checks the box. He deserves a contract. We got to work something out and keep this guy, because we can't say see you later to Denzel Ward after we say see you later to Baker Mayfield. You think there's any political just kind of making yourself look not inept in making 2 top 4 picks in 2018?
I think it makes you maybe a little more eager to get it done, like just so you don't have that, image or perception that you're kind of talking about there hovering over if it doesn't work out. Like, look, the Browns, a few years ago they had 2 top 5 picks. Look where they are. Where are they now? And that's where I think, you're right with your kind of check the box phrase. Player's good. He's good in the locker room. And then of course is a guy that they drafted in the top 5. They've invested in there, and he's from Ohio State. I think it's kind of like the trifecta of a little bit of the political angle, Mike, that makes this happen and maybe gives it the extra boost of the money or whatever. Again, guy's very deserving to be in this conversation. Like I said, I don't view him as quite that upper echelon guy there, but he's not far off. And now you just think about the Jair Alexanders of the world and everybody like that to where these contracts go.
Couple of concussions in 2018. That has not been an issue the last 3 seasons. It was one of those early career things where you're just kind of like, let's see how this goes.
Right.
And I remember back when the Browns had that 4th overall pick, there was a lot of chatter about the possibility of them selecting Bradley Chubb, the pass rusher. They had Myles Garrett entering his 2nd season. What a combination that could have been, but they went with the corner instead. And again, he's good enough that he gets a contract, and the Browns, assuming the injury risk with that $71 million guarantee. My assumption is that that's not fully guaranteed at signing. That's injury guarantee. So if he would have some sort of a problem, whether it's knee, something structural, concussion issue, whatever, and he can't play, he's going to have plenty of money in hand. And that's good. We celebrate when players get paid. We don't hate when they get paid. Golick and I were talking about this last night. There's so much transparency in what players get that it's so much easier for fans to resent the players. And I think you and I have talked about this not that long ago. We don't know how much money the owners have, but they got enough to buy big-ass boats.
Right.
Like boats that cost $250 million with a B, not $250,000 like maybe Tom Brady could buy. So they're doing well, too. And every time a player gets a big contract, remember, for every dollar that goes into a player's pocket, a dollar goes into an owner's vault.
Yeah, no question. No question, and we're going to continue to fight that fight. I mean, we see it going on in the NFL right now. We're going to talk about it here in a few minutes. I mean, once again, just as far as the amazing backlash of fans to the players and never caring about the billion-dollar owner. I don't understand that. I don't. But I'm happy for Denzel Ward, and that's the kind of move you make if you're I think a well-functioned, or a functioning good organization there. Hey, a guy that's good. You drafted him. Get out in front of it now. Yeah, he's the highest paid, but a year from now we're going to look at it and go, he's the 3rd or 4th highest paid guy, and it's going to look very affordable for the player they have who's just about to hit the peak of his prime here. But like I said, I was a little surprised yesterday that the number went north of Jalen Ramsey. I'm not going to lie, for the reasons I stated. Yeah. And Pete's looking it up just a little bit more. But, yeah, they're a team that's one of the league leaders in zone coverage. So I guess that's what surprised me a little bit more, is that they don't put that pressure like we've seen some of the top corners in football on their corners all the time to go, wait, you got that guy, shut him down. That's not really how Cleveland rolls.
But remember, sometimes to get past that top average, there'll be some phony numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Very
You're right,
back
Mike.
end.
You're right.
The last year, the Tyreek Hill deal, for example,
Right,
he
you're
gets
exactly.
into supposedly $30 million a year, is a $45 million balloon payment that he will never, ever get. That's just an example of the BS that gets baked into these deals because the agents want to be able to say, I negotiated the richest contract ever for a defensive back, a receiver, a running back, whatever. And the people they're trying to impress with that aren't going to say, yes, but you need to understand if we parse into the details, because it's very obscure and nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares. All they care about is what you can boast, and you can boast that you negotiated the richest contract for any cornerback in league history. Asterisk, let's see the details, and we will.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.